a new court filing, prosecutors allege that one of the rioters involved in the Capitol insurrection was an Army reservist who was a well-known Nazi sympathizer at the Navy base where he worked as a contractor. He even was rebuked for sporting a distinctive Hitler mustache. CNN's Marshall Cohen joins us now. Marshall, I know you've been going through documents related to this arrest. What more can you tell us?
Anna, his name is Timothy Hale-Cusanelli. He's an Army reservist with a security clearance, and he worked as a contractor at a Navy base in New Jersey. So as you mentioned, prosecutors are now revealing that the Navy did its own internal investigation after he was arrested in January. Their findings were shocking. 34 of this man's co-workers at that Navy base said that he exhibited, quote, extremist or radical views pertaining to the Jewish people, minorities, and women. His colleagues shared disturbing stories of his racist and bigoted conduct at the Navy base. They said he made near daily comments against Jews and even came to the office wearing a Hitler mustache, as you saw in those photos, which drew a rebuke from one of his supervisors. Now, Anna, the prosecutors said that they searched his cell phone. They found racist memes about African Americans, one image containing the N-word, another comparing black people to animals, and that one of the memes on his cell phone contained a twisted joke about George Floyd, who was killed in police custody last year. I want to be crystal clear, Anna, that we reached out to this man's attorney earlier today, and he did not want to comment, but in previous court filings, he has said that the reservist, Hale-Cusanelli, is not part of any extremist organizations, and that when he spoke to the FBI, he denied that he was a Nazi sympathizer.
I guess he also denies that the sky is blue and that the grass is green. Let me start here. How many warnings does it take to get to the center of to the issue, right? 34 people warned the Navy that this guy was a white supremacist. And it wasn't until he was arrested on January 6th, being a part of the treasonous terrorist attack, that they finally got to the bottom of it. That blows me away, because this guy came with an Adolf mustache and all he got was a warning. This guy was very open. Cusanelli, sounds like, I think that was his name. He was very open about his white supremacy, and they have the nerve to say that he's not a part of any white supremacist organization. Yes, he is. He's a part of conservatism. Conservatism in this country is part and parcel, is one and the same with white supremacy. It is an extremist organization. It is an extremist ideology. And the Republicans that are in the Senate and in the Congress, they are extremists. I want us to be clear about this. Just because they wore suits doesn't mean that they aren't extremists. In fact, there was a clip of Ron Johnson, Senator Ron Johnson, who said that he was not afraid of the people who marched and attacked the Capitol because, you know, they were good people, right? But yet and still, he said that he would have been afraid of them if they were Black Lives Matter. That is an extremist statement. That is an extremely racist statement. But you know, this guy this guy was able to get away with taking taxpayer money as a contractor while simultaneously promoting and pushing some of the most hate-filled ideologies that we have ever known on this planet. And he did not get stopped until January 6th. Now, the good and the bad of that is perhaps now the United States government understands that white supremacy is inherently a threat to it. Here up until this point, white supremacy and the American empire were one and the same. On January 6th, we saw how white supremacists marched up the steps and directly challenged the American empire. So perhaps now this system understands that white supremacy is a direct threat to democracy itself. They don't particularly care about democracy, but at least they're going to care about the military-industrial complex. And so now the good about this is that now that these conservatives have shown that they are a terroristic threat to this country, perhaps we can start getting rid of that hate-filled ideology that has infiltrated not only the military, but also all of our law enforcement agencies across the country, federal as well as local and state. There has been plenty of research to show this country that white supremacists are not only the greatest threat for domestic violence, domestic terrorism, but they're also directly infiltrating all of our halls of power as well as law enforcement. And they're doing that. You think they're doing it just because they want the job? No, they're doing it because they're looking for a way to forward their ideology even further. And shame on the American government for taking this long to realize that white supremacy is not only a threat to black people, to immigrants, to Muslims, and to Jewish people, and to marginalized communities. It's also a threat to America itself. But I guess they had to wait till January 6th to realize it. Okay.